Hey guys, welcome to Space Train. Another year of space events is upon us, and there's a lot to look forward to in 2019. Here are some noteworthy sky events. A total lunar eclipse, 2 close pairing-offs between the 2 brightest planets, a total solar eclipse for parts of Chile and Argentina, and a rare transit of Mercury, are among the celestial highlights that will take place in the new year. Let's begin. February 18. Venus and Saturn. The goddess of love passes just over a degree to the upper left of the Lord of the Rings in this morning's pre-dawn sky, one of the closest bright planet conjunctions of 2019. Biggest supermoon of the year. On February 19th at 4 a.m. the moon will arrive at its closest point to the Earth in 2019, an extreme perigee distance of 221,681 miles. 356,761 kilometers away. 6 hours and 53 minutes later, the moon will officially turn full. In addition, the near coincidence of this full moon with perigee will result in a dramatically large range of high and low ocean tides. While this supermoon will be the biggest full moon of 2019, the variation of the moon's distance is not readily apparent to observers viewing the moon directly. July 2nd. Total eclipse of the Sun. This will be the first total eclipse of the Sun since the Great American Total Eclipse of 2017, when the long, thin finger of the Moon's dark umbral shadow will again draw its tip, averaging 95 miles, 150 kilometers, wide, across the Earth's surface. But unlike in 2017, which offered a multitude of possibilities for land-based viewing, the 6,800-mile, 11,000-kilometer path of the 2019 eclipse is confined almost exclusively to the South Pacific Ocean. The total eclipse track begins at local sunrise, 2,175 miles, 4,000 kilometers, east-northeast of Wellington, New Zealand. Just 89 minutes later, comes the moment of greatest eclipse, where the duration on the center line of the shadow path lasts the longest. 4 minutes 32.8 seconds, at a point about 1,600 miles, 2,600 kilometers, southwest of Isla Isabela of the Galapagos Islands, but still over open ocean waters. Indeed, out of the 161 minutes that the shadow's umbra is in contact with the Earth, it is only in the final 4 minutes that it finally makes a landfall in central Chile and continues rapidly east-southeast through central Argentina, the path coming to an end just before reaching Rio de la Plata and the nation of Uruguay, before the shadow lifts off of the Earth at sunset and returns to space. A very fortuitous circumstance is that Cerro Tololo Inter-American Observatory, a world-class facility of astronomical telescopes and instruments located 50 miles, 80 kilometers, east of La Serena, Chile, at an altitude of 7,200 feet, 2,200 meters, is within the totality path and will witness 2 minutes and 6 seconds of total eclipse. Some notable metropolitan areas that will see a very large partial eclipse include Montevideo, 90%, Santiago, 93%, and Buenos Aires, 99.4%. A partial eclipse will also be visible from Panama, Costa Rica and a slice of southwest Nicaragua, as well as much of South America, except for the northern and eastern sections. August 12-13, Perseid meteor shower. The Perseid meteor shower is considered to be among the best of the annual display thanks to its high rates of up to 90 per hour for a single observer, as well as its reliability. Beloved by summer campers and often discovered by city dwellers who might be spending time in the country under a dark starry skies. But sadly, this year's peak happens just 2 days before full moon, meaning the sky will be flooded with bright moonlight that will obscure all but the brightest streaks. However, just before the break of dawn on the morning of the August 13th, the moon will set, leaving about an hour of dark sky and affording an opportunity, albeit brief, to catch the maximum number of shooting stars. November 11, transit of Mercury. The beginning of the transit will be visible from the eastern third of North America, the southern third of Greenland, and all of Central and South America. The beginning will also be visible from Africa, Europe and Western Asia and virtually all of Antarctica. The end will be visible over much of North America, except for central and western Alaska. The end will also be visible from all of South America, southernmost Greenland, Hawaii, a small slice of western Africa, all of New Zealand and virtually all of Antarctica. When Mercury is in transit across the solar disk, the planet appears as a tiny, round black spot with a diameter just 1/195th that of the Sun. This size is too small to be visible to the naked eye. Prospective observers are warned to take special safety precautions, as with a solar eclipse, in attempting to view the tiny silhouette of Mercury against the blindingly brilliant disk of the Sun. This will be the last transit of Mercury available to North Americans until May 7, 2049. November 24, Venus and Jupiter, close embrace number 2. Venus and Jupiter are very low in the southwest during the chilly November dusk. Their overtaking of each other this month occurs with a glorious conjunction that is further enlivened by background stars. For the second time this year these two bright luminaries have a rendezvous. The last was just over 10 months ago in the morning sky. Back then they were separated by 2.5 degrees. This evening they're even closer. Venus sits 1.4 degrees to Jupiter's lower left. November 28, Celestial Summit meeting at dusk. Step outside about 45 minutes after sundown and look low near the southwest horizon. You'll see Jupiter and to its upper left Venus. Just above Venus will be a hairline crescent moon, just 2.5 days past new. And finally, well to the upper left shines yet a third bright planet, Saturn. December 26, annular eclipse of the Sun. The final eclipse of 2019 will be an annular solar eclipse visible solely from the eastern hemisphere. North America will not see any part of it. Although the new moon will pass directly across the face of the Sun, it will not cover it entirely because the moon will be farther than the average distance from the Earth, and the moon's resultant apparent size will be 3% smaller than that of the Sun. As a consequence, a thin ring of sunlight will shine around the dark silhouette of the moon, resulting in an annular eclipse, derived from the Latin word annulus, meaning ring-shaped. A good analogy would be to place a penny on top of a nickel. The penny represents the moon and the nickel represents the Sun. Unlike July's eclipse of the Sun whose totality path almost entirely swept over open ocean, the path of December's annular eclipse will pass over many countries and population centers stretching from the Middle East to the western Pacific Ocean, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Oman, India, Sri Lanka, Sumatra, Singapore, Borneo, the Philippines, and even the tiny island of Guam. Just to the east of the Indonesian island of Pulau Jinbazar is where the ring of sunlight will last the longest, 3 minutes 39.5 seconds. A partial eclipse will be visible from virtually all of Asia, northeastern Africa and northern and western portions of Australia. That's all. Make sure to be prepared for this event, and stay with us for more interesting stuff. If you are still here, grab your knowledge and get out of my train.